Good afternoon, and welcome to CabWriter Comprehensive 2, Part 9. This is where we left off in Part 8, and what we have to do now is fix up the ladder bases, especially over here where we have a peninsula and we need to dress this up in the back. So I'm going to get right at it. I'll clear all layers and bring in just the ladder base. And let me look at the base boxes here. And just look underneath. Okay. What we want to do is get rid of this part here. We'll just delete it. And then we're going to move these out an inch. And so I'm going to select this cabinet, unlock it. I'm going to move this and this out an inch so that it's, I want to be along the red axis. There we go. So now it's touching this guy over here. And I want to fix up this guy. I'm going to move him over along this line. I'm going to move along the red axis until it's on that edge, like that. And I'll do the same with the one in the back, but I can't see it, so I'll select it here. There we go. And let's see what we've got so far. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with this back one. Just going to pull them over. Well, let me get rid of the base boxes. That'll make that easier. And lastly, I'll edit this. Let's see what we have. If I bring the base boxes back, in fact, let's bring everything but the construction lines back. And notice now we have a finished look. Okay. All right, that's all we had to do here. Let's get rid of everything but the base ladder. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to select and unlock all of this. This one's going to be pretty simple, I think. So I think it's a matter of just deleting some things like that and that, and editing this. Pulling him over to here. And in this one case, I want to mark this so I know what I'm doing there. So I'll use my little construction point, which comes with the Construction Plus extension that's free from our website. I'm going to mark this point right here. So now I can get rid of that. This I'll edit. And lastly, I'll do the same with this. We'll edit this one. And I think we got it. You can, if you choose, rearrange these or even delete some and rearrange some. But I'm going to leave that alone for now. You can do that if you choose. Everything here seems to be okay. This, I think, what I want to do here . Just close that up. Everything here is okay. This is another case where, let me just select the cabinet and unlock it. What I wanted to do was just select the cabinet, unlock it, select the cabinet, unlock it, and I'll get rid of this and the other one on the other end. And I'll take this one. Well, let's see. I know what it'll do. This will distort this quite a bit, but that's okay. It's only temporary. And select this one. And notice it fixed the other one up because those are the same parts. So that's already fixed up. Okay, we got this to fix up. And this is going to take some doing. Let's bring everything back in. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Normal cabinets have a toe kick, and if you're standing in the front, the toe kick goes in about 3 inches, and it's about 4 inches tall. So what I want to do, first of all, is create an outline of this back that represents the same kind of toe kick, so I can dress this up with a nice toe kick. All right, so I'll come down from here 4 inches along the blue. I'll do the same here, down along the blue 4 inches, and also here, this diagonal, because I want to keep that same shape. So I'll come down along the blue 4 inches. Now that represents the same surface as the face of this. Normal toe kicks are in 3 inches. So let me get rid of everything but these. And I'm going to move these lines in 3 inches. And I'll do this one next. And lastly, this one. Okay. All right. Now that represents the face of the trim on the toe kick, which is 3/4 of an inch thick. So to represent that, I'm going to move another line back here 3/4 of an inch. Same with these. And let me make sure that I got this one right. Yep. All right, so that's the outline of the trim on the toe kick. Now I want to outline the ties on the toe kick. So I'll come back another 3/4 of an inch. All right, so with all of that, let me bring the toe kick in again. Now I'm going to move, well, let me start with this. I'm going to edit this and move it back a little. And move this face to that line. And I want to bevel on this 45 degrees, so I'll start here, come out, 45. And I'm going to move this line back 45. Okay, now that, oops, I guess I didn't get that. Okay, now that tells me where this wants to be. So I'll move this back. This will become obvious pretty soon. And now I can edit these. Whoa, wrong tool. Edit this one. And I'm going to move it to the inside edge of this. There we go. Do the same with this. Move it to the inside edge. You'll probably notice there are times when I'm using keyboard shortcuts to save a little time here. All right, now I know where I have to move this. All right. Now I've got to add some parts. And I'll start with this one. This one should become obvious now. I'm going to start here and come down here. And looking at just the outside shape, I'm going to come to here. Then here. You'll see why this is the case in a moment. And that should have given me a face. Oh, maybe I didn't finish. There we go. I'll make this a component. And I'm not going to worry too much about the name of the component at the moment. I'll come back and get them later. Now, using that same logic, watch this. I'll come here. I'll start here. Go here. Over to here, and back. Notice that creates my angles for me, the appropriate angles. Now, I want to fix this up. I don't want that bounding box to look like that. So I'm going to change its axis. That bounding box will give me the wrong rough lumber dimensions for this. So I'll select this point right here, come out to this point, and then I can come out this way. Notice the bounding box now is correct. Now the last trim piece I have to do is this one. And I'm going to bring the wall in. For the moment, I'm going to make this trim piece long. I may shorten it up later, but I'm going to come out 3/4 and back and there. There we go. Now I know exactly what I have to do here. I'll edit this. First thing I'll do, bring it back to there. And the next thing I'll do, let me there we go. That might be the correct. So I'll bring this along the green. I'll lock it to the green. All right. Maybe I can get it from underneath. Lock it to the green. There we go. Okay. I'm not sure I like that angle. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to bring another 3/4 of an inch line out here. And I'm going to draw this in. I'm going to start here, go here, 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 and here. And I'll bring this down to there. Make it a component. And again, I'll want to change the axis here. There we go. And now I'm going to make this part conform to this. So I'll edit it. Select this line back here. There we go. I think I got it. And move it to here. I like that better. I didn't want those joints coming together like that. And now I'll edit this one. Select this line. it forward along the red. I'm going to lock the red to that edge. There we go. Now I like that much better. And let's see. That all looks right. Let's bring the wall in. I got a mouse problem here. I don't mind mouse being able to get in here. So I think what I'll do, use a different tool. I'm going to use the rotated rectangle tool. I'll go up 4 inches and I'll come out along the red. All right. Hopefully that gave me what I wanted. Looks like it did. And I'll push that back 3/4 of an inch. Make it a component. Now I can, if I want to save a little lumber, I can edit this. Bring it back to here. Okay. I think I can get rid of some lines here. I'm going to start here. Whoops. I've selected a part here when I selected the lines. I have a feeling, yeah, that line belongs to this part. So I'll have to edit that part. Get rid of the construction line. There. Now let me try that again. All right. Let's see what else I have left. Let's just take a look here. Okay, I think we've got it. However, remember, I made a bunch of parts here. I don't know what this is doing up there. I made a bunch of parts here. And I have to name them. And remember, as I was making, creating the parts, names, or creating the parts, making them a component, I didn't worry much about the name. But now I have to. So what I'm going to do is name a few of these. The rest of them I'll name offline because it'll be exactly the same process. But I'll name a couple just so you can see what I'm doing. Remember, if I bring in let me bring in the boxes. This is cabinet C9L. Let me get rid of the boxes and bring in the ladder base. If I select this part up here, notice what it is. It's called, it's C9LTK, front applied face, and if you can read this over there, it says face diagonal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this. And I'm going to be very careful. This needs to be C9L. The component type is a toe kick. It's an applied face. And I'm going to call it back applied face diagonal. And since I've only got one in the model, I'll give the instance name the same. And that looks right. Now let's just compare these. Select this again. Notice it's C9LTK front applied face diagonal. This one is C9LTK back applied face diagonal. So I'm sort of trying to keep the naming convention the same. I can do the same thing here. Notice this is a diagonal rib, and it's just called a diagonal rib, C9LTK. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one back diagonal rib. So it's C9L. It's a toe kick. This one's a rib. I'm going to call it back diagonal rib. And since there's only one in the model, I'll give it the same name down here as an instance name. I do want it protected. So if I compare these again, that's a back diagonal rib. And that one just is a diagonal rib because we usually don't have a back. All right, I'm going to name the rest of these offline. But there's one more little thing we have to do that I noticed the other day. Right here, we don't have an end sheet here. So I'm going to make one. And I think to do this, what I'll do is get rid of the walls. And I'm going to use that same rectangle tool I was using before. Rotated rectangle. I'll hold it on the green. Go up here. And I'll come here first. I'll have to edit it a little bit. But I think I'll come out 3/4. Make it a component. Not worried about the name right at the moment. Now I'll edit it. And with the push-pull tool, I'm going to bring this back to here. Now before I name this, let's just check this dimension again. From here, along the blue axis, to here, should be 1.25 inches. That's where my countertop is going to go. Right in that gap. Okay, so let's name this now. First of all, what's the name of this cabinet? It's C4L, and like this end sheet, it wants to be a right end sheet. So I'll name it with this tool, C4L. And it's a sheet panel, end sheet, right end sheet. And I'll give the instance name the same name. And I do want to protect it. I'll say OK. So now we're done with the modeling of this kitchen. Or at least you are. Offline, I'm going to rename the remaining parts that we added down here. And we'll start off at this point in part 10. And in part 10, what we're going to do is we're going to transition from modeling to creating scenes and then creating shop drawings, including hatching and things like that. So until part 10, have a good day.